So let me switch my language to English. Today my presentation topic is navigate, and I have a question here. So before solving the question, let me explain the differences and similarities between get and navigate, and I will explain in Turkish also. So I have written everything in here. So as we can see, we have one similarities between both of them, and both opens a page URL, but we have three differences in both between them. The first one is Git accepts only string URL, but Navigate can also use it can use two with him. Without two, it cannot use. The second one is we cannot use some methods with Git. Instead of that, we have to use navigate, and those methods are back, refresh, and forward. And the third part is Git accepts only string parameter, but navigate accepts string and URL parameter. This is the definition. Let me also explain in Turkish. Burası Türkçesi, İngilizcesi zaten ben definition yaptım. Yani fark nedir? Türkçesi zaten yani test esnasında eğer biz birden fazla bir sayfa açmak istiyorsak ve o sayfaların arasında gezinmek de istiyorsak o zaman get yerine biz navigate metodunu kullanacağız. Ve o metodun navigate metodunun sonra da to yazmamız gerekiyor. Eğer to yazmazsak başka metotları da kullanabiliriz. Forward, back veya refresh. Bunların manası da zaten forward ileri, back geri, refresh yenilemek galiba. İnşallah yanlış yapmadım. I will skip this part and I will explain this later. So let me start with the solving of the question. For that, I have to open a main method. And I will skip also, I'm not wasting our time to set up a class because Sumayanam already did it yesterday. So I will only write it the setup system, setup dot set property. I have to write this information here, cron.drive. I have to copy this path and paste it in here, semicolon at the end, and I have to open a class with driver, and I'm putting a name for my object is equal to new cron driver. Let me also explain it why we cannot use WebDriver, because it's an interface. So so instead of WebDriver we are using cron driver, and I'm putting two extra code in here for maximization and limit for the duration of waiting in here. So I have to use drive manage windows maximize. This code is working for maximization of my page. The next part is drive manage times out dot implicit width, and I have to write duration. We can also use hour, months, and many other things, but I'm using seconds and putting 15 seconds is enough for me. Let me also explain in Turkish. Burası zaten Sumay Hocam dün anlatmıştı kurulumu hepsine. Ben vakit kaybetmek istemedim. Sadece hepsini yazdım. Şimdi sorunumuza gidelim. Let me solve the question in here. So we have already created a class. I have created a class, and we should go to the second part. Before solving the question, let me explain. Before solving the question, let me explain this part. what actually question wants from us. It wants from me to navigate or open two pages, Amazon and YouTube, and I have to scroll or navigate between these two pages. And for that reason, I'm using navigate method, and for that method, I can also use back, forward, and refresh methods for this question. I will not use get because I cannot scroll between these two pages. So let me start with the second part. So let's go to the YouTube page. I'm writing drive dot navigate. We can also use get method, but I will not use it as I explained. As we can see, it returns navigation for us. So I will use this method, navigate. For going to the page, I have to use to and write my YouTube. Let me write it. HTTPS slash youtube.com. And before going to the other parts, let me check if it's working or not. So as you can see, it's working, and we don't have any problem with that. Zero codes problem. Let me solve the next. And this part, it's asking me to let's go to the Amazon page. So I'm doing the same as part one. Drive.navigate.to. I'm putting my Amazon. Let me copy it from here and put it. Let me check it again. It's going to. So it's opening YouTube, as you can see, and scrolling to the other page. Let me put trades the sleep 3 seconds is enough for me, and throws and exceptions. Let me also put a trade in here, sleep 3 seconds more in here. Ahmet hocam, sizden bir rica edebilir miyim? Mikrofonu kapatabilir misiniz? Teşekkür ederim. So we have opened these two pages, and after we should solve the next part. Where is the second one? And this is the second one. So it's asking me to go back to the YouTube page. For right now, I'm in the Amazon page. So, and the next part is asking me to go back to the YouTube. So for that reason, I'm using drive.navigate.back. And let me check it. And I'm putting some trade slip before going to the next part. Successfully. So it's opening YouTube first, waiting. Now we are in the Amazon page, and we are going back to the YouTube. We have solved it. We have nothing problem in here. It's the fifth one. And the fifth part, it's asking me to go to the Amazon page again. So as you can see, we opened YouTube, we went to the Amazon, we went back to the YouTube. Now it's asking me to go back to the Amazon page. So for that, I have to rewrite this code drive.navigate dot. So this time I'm using forward method. Sorry, navigate dot forward. Let me check it again. Now we are in the YouTube page, going to the Amazon page. Now our back code is working, back to the YouTube, and the last we are going back to the Amazon. And the sixth part of creation, let me put also trade, the sleep. 3 seconds is enough. And the sixth part is asking me to refresh the page. For refreshing the page, we have to use drive.navigate and refresh method in here. As you can see, let me refresh. As you can see, it's returning void. It's only writing. Let me also check the back method. I think all of them is the same. They are returning void. So I'm rewriting refresh, and let me put trade out sleep 3 seconds in here and recheck our code. Is it working or not? Now we are in the YouTube first part. We are going to the Amazon second part. We have to go back to the YouTube third part. In the fourth part, we have forwarding to Amazon, and we are now refreshing our page. And the last, it's asking me to close the page. Now I want to explain this definition. So what's the difference between close and quit? Actually, if we open one window, if we had open one window page, so we can use close. So it's working like close that only one page. But if we add open a lot of pages in our test, so we can, on that time, we can use quit to close all subclasses. Now as you can see, I have opened only one page, so it's very easy for me. So I will use it only close, and I will not use trade. So sorry, I have to close the other YouTube page. Now we are in the Amazon second part. Third part, we are going back to the YouTube. Fourth part, forwarding, refreshing, and closing. Now actually I have opened a lot of pages, so I have to close all of them. Let me check it again. Second part, third, 4, refreshing, and closing. So as you can see, our code is working and we don't have any problem issues in here. And I'm switching my language to explain in Turkish. Şurasında Türkçesini anlatmak istiyorum da soruda aslında bizde 2 sayfa açmasını istiyor ve o sayfaları arasında gezinmemizi istiyor. Onun için biz get yerine navigate kullanacağız, çünkü back forward ve refresh metotlarını kullanabiliriz diye. İlk soruda ben YouTube sayfasına gittim. Ondan sonra Amazon sayfasına gittim. Ve bizden ondan sonra YouTube sayfasına geri gitmemizi istiyor. Onun için ben back metodu kullandım. Ondan sonra tekrar benden Amazon sayfasına gitmemi istedi. Forward metodunu kullandım burada. İleri demek. Ve en son zaten Amazon sayfasındayız şu an. Yani bu kodda. Bizden refresh yenilemek istiyor. Zaten gördük. Refresh yaptık ve son close yaptım. Bu kadar benden. And that's all. Sorunuz var mı? Hem İngilizce hem Türkçe'yi anlatmaya çalıştım da inşallah güzel anlatayım diye umut ediyorum.
Güzel hocam ya. Güzel.
Gayet iyiydi hocam. Teşekkür ederiz.
Thank you. You are so kind.
Ahmet hocam.
Ahmet hocam ne dediniz anlaşılmadı.
Hocam İngilizce'de 2 tane kelime biliyorum. Onu konuştum da.
Hocam
Teşekkür
tekrar
ederim.
söyleyin.
Thank you. You are so kind dedim.
You are welcome.
Mansur hocam teşekkür ederiz. Ağzınıza sağlık.
Hocam ben teşekkür ederim. İlker hocam anlaşabilir mi? Yani benim İngilizcem nasıl?
Hocam anlıyoruz hocam. Güzel yani. Şeyi yok yani. Yani biz onu test edecek değiliz de yani şimdi şey yapmayın. Bizim İngilizce bölümdeki hocaların İngilizcesinden daha anlaşılır yani. Daha İngilizce.
Akıcı değil mi?